The Checkpoints is presented by pharmaceutical company GM Pharma.
Mr. Farkhod, thank you so much. Great honor and my pleasure hosting you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming to Tbilisi, and please update us and share with us the latest development in IT sector in Uzbekistan, about the market overview, please, and where do we stand right now?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For inviting me. It's an honor to us to be here in Georgia to expand the current conditions, advantages what we have in Uzbekistan for the worldwide. And Georgia is one of target market, which is with the companies who are the base here, who are serving the CIS market or the other neighbor markets. And we are here to show the Uzbekistan potential. If we talk with the Uzbekistan itself, now we are very close and similar with the cultural with the Georgia, because all of countries in our region, mostly with the most Soviet Union countries, right? And Uzbekistan was famous at that time, I mean, for the people with our ages, mostly with agriculture. If you remember, it was the cotton fields, yes, everywhere. And after the independence, 1991, Uzbekistan mostly become more, also not only with agriculture, with the mineral resources, and unfortunately sometimes with the main workforce in Russia or the Western countries. A lot of people working there at that time. And I remember myself, it's 2016, the president election, a new president came, and the strategy of development changed. If we before produced the agriculture, now we are producing the latest product. It's not just producing cotton, we are selling the textile, finally. The same starting to do with
technologies as well.
Technologies, but technologies consist of starting with the human potential, human capital. So as the previously, this is one of the reasons why TBC Bank, by the way, in Uzbekistan.
Absolutely, yes.
We are growing, you can imagine that. It's less than million, Nico said the million, we are growing the 800,000 annually. This is huge. And very important thing is that the economy is growing as well, quite fast. And we are the top 15, 16 economies for the growing GDP in the world. And important thing is that development strategy is changing. And I will concentrate on the IT side. As I told you, Uzbekistan is highly growing rate in Uzbekistan. This is the first 37 million. And when we were independent in 1991, it was only the 18 million at that time. It's more than 50% growing. This is the first important. And I think it means that a lot of youngsters are in the market. Just imagine 60% of that 37 million is under the 30. This is huge power.
Indeed.
This is huge power. But the thing is, another issue is with the finding the jobs for the youngsters, right? And the fastest way from the experience, it makes through technology. I mean, to train them, to buy the laptops, computers, and we calculate it cost about the 2,000 per person to be ready to be as the labor for the employee of the companies. Governments pay no more than 2,000. If we compare with the agriculture or any kind of other production, it's 10 times, 15 times expensive. This is one reason. The second one, Uzbekistan is double landlocked country. For Georgia, this is something new, but if we want to reach the ocean, we should cross the borders of the two countries. We don't have any seas or the oceans with us. And it means us, if we want to export, each country should export something. If we want to export our advantages as the agriculture, That's not possible to export for the Western countries. That's not easy. And even if it's possible, that become very expensive.
Not profitable.
Yes.
Less profitable.
Less profitable if it's the competitors with another markets. And the thing is, if we want to become the equal with the whole world, is let's train the people and provide the services through internet. Then we become the equal with everyone. So that was the strategy. Everything is started in 2017 at that time. And if you want to say the current status of what's going on in IT, you should know what it was before. And at that time, it was just, I'll tell you, it was, if we measure the export of our services in IT, it was less than $1 million in 2017, less than $1 million export. When I say the export, this is like if you have the products or if you have a clients overseas, you're serving them, and that's money which coming here as the salary, that cost the export at that time.
It was 2017.
No, it was, yes, 2017, less than $1 million. Now we reach 344 in 2023, 344 million.
Revenues.
So, revenues, yes. Totally in IT, it's more than billion in Uzbekistan, $1 billion.
Mr. Ibragimov, at the same time, while mentioning initiatives coming from President Mirziyoyev from 2017, correct. Can we identify some incentives and benefits already launched within IT companies provided by Uzbekistan government and environment generally?
Definitely. Just can you imagine yourself that the company which you're operating not pay any taxes? Zero taxes. It doesn't mean are you a foreign company, are you hiring the locals, it doesn't matter. If you are located, register the office in Uzbekistan and register the company in IT park. When I say the IT park, you shouldn't be located in specific area. It means that you are registering online and you're located wherever you want in all territory of Uzbekistan. Then you can get the 0% income tax. There is no social taxes, no any taxes. This is only the single tax is exist. This is for personal income tax.
Personal income tax is the only paid tax.
Only paid tax, but even in Uzbekistan, this is 12%, but in IT park, it's 7.5%. Why? Because we still have 7.5, because the pension of the laborers, employees should go finally. So this is zero everything.
At the same time, allow me to follow the things like infrastructure provided for IT companies in Uzbekistan. There are a lot of articles in this regards, and I think you're the best who might be responsive in this. What are these details offered by Uzbekistan government?
This is a very correct question, because when you say development of IT, this is not like only the zero tax. This is infrastructure as well. This is talent pool. Now we are concentrating on the infrastructure. And important things, Uzbekistan is still developing country. We have the 90 billion GDP in Uzbekistan. But the thing is important thing. If you compare with the other developing countries, with our territory, this is 100% reaching the internet, broadband, high-speed internet to the old schools. We spent a lot of money for that. It's starting from 2016, 17, hugely investing for the infrastructure. This is important, one, for the schools. All the hospitals, universities, everywhere we have the high-speed internet, even in the rural areas. And another thing is, for IT companies, if they want to be located out of Tashkent, this is our priority. To be located out of Tashkent, you will get the office spaces with the internet. But internet coming from the operators, right? And we are renting operator offices in the Soviet time, if you remember, when you have we call it ATS.
No.
ATS is with the huge equipment.
Specific equipment,
Yes,
yeah.
but there is no need for these equipments at the time. A lot of spaces are available. It could be not only in Uzbekistan, everywhere in CIS countries, I think. And we are the manufacturer. I mean, newly we are the we are making the new offices with that buildings. We are investing for them. We are changing the buildings. I mean, not the buildings, inside the lofts style and so on for office companies, open spaces.
Spaces, yeah.
Yes, open spaces, and providing the offices in that buildings of the telecom offices. It means they have the buildings in each district. Uzbekistan have 205 districts across the whole republic. We have 205 offices, and we're investing in each of them. It is, I will tell you, this is all 205 of them is occupied already.
Already?
Already occupied.
And they are all out of Tashkent? Most of them?
This is just 190 of them is out of Tashkent.
But priority, Mr. Farkhod, is to be out of Tashkent.
Out of Tashkent, because, you know, Tashkent is expensive. When we say that...
as all the capitals.
Yes, as all the capitals, right. But in the region, there are a lot of youngsters available, and all the trainings, all our investigation going outside, because the Tashkent developing itself. Our main goal is penetration, making the out of Tashkent.
I'm more than sure that the person in your position, after describing all this attractiveness and decisions made by Uzbekistan government, might share with us some concrete success stories as well, already launched. While you're happy with, you figure out about the revenues, which is close to 400 million already in Uzbekistan, beginning from just 1 million in 2017.
For 7 years. For
7 years, correct. At the same time, what can you identify as a definitely success stories, just one or a few? I will be more than happy to hear that.
This is important thing, Uzbekistan, first West. Let me, before I'll tell the names, this is important. We are the focusing for the B2B sector. This is not the famous companies, as probably you may heard. This is the companies who is serving another business in the United States or Europe. It means that this is back office companies. But that back office companies, they have 1,000 of employees.
They are the most important.
Yes, for us that's important. Because we are in the initial stage of development. And as soon as we reach some success stories for the 100,000 employees, then definitely the big companies start to come to Uzbekistan as well. But let me say that why we do that, because the Uzbekistan is big. Development of the products could be possible only in Tashkent. The access for the education not equal everywhere, and we cannot request or just expect from the people who are living in rural areas the same knowledge is in Tashkent. So that's why we are going to the outsourcing. That's why we're working for the B2B sector, and that's why the number of the people which is increasing but the name of the companies could be not as famous as probably the many of the people who is not in IT. But example, I'll give you the example.
Please.
The company which have in Giorgi as well, EPAM system.
Yes.
EPAM, you know the EPAM. And I remember myself in 2017, first time, Arkady, he came to Tashkent. I was at that time CEO as well. And we didn't understand anything at that time. We were just starting. We didn't know anything. He said that potentially you're very good as for the increasing growing bursting rate, but there is nothing you have. You don't have you have only the incentives, that's all. But if you don't have a talent, if you don't have infrastructure, if no one know about you, that will be not easy to develop. Then the comprehensive work. But I remember he said that we will think about. Then after the 1 year, they set up the office. 4 people were hired at that time. It was not easy to find. the right employees. Then we changed the classes. It was just informatics class, if you remember. But now in Uzbekistan, this is software development class. It means all the graduates of the school, high school graduates, they already had the opportunity to develop the software.
So you invested hugely,
A lot.
Is this real?
And it was starting with that meeting with the Arkady Dokrin and investigation for the infrastructure, education. Now this is a time for investigation to expand our advantages across the world, in the globe. This is a last what we should do. I mean, we are still developing all the three. We are renewing, updating the legislation always, the same infrastructure. Finally, they reached the 1,000 of people, employees. They start with 4, yes. In 3 years, they reached the 1,000.
1,000. And they are still working quite successfully,
Still, yes, they are developing still. So this is the story. This is one of the cases, and there are many cases.
But you mentioned already in one of your answers about further development and progressing that the government, yourself, your agents, you're not stopping. I mean, you're continuing not just progressing, but it's a part of amendments within the legislation.
Yes.
It's a part of investing hugely in these regards. My last question, but not the least, what are the future projects and what are your incentives and your message to the rest of the world why Uzbekistan market will still be one of the most attractive for the rest of the world?
With my experience to talk with the FDI companies who was interesting to come or expanding any new markets, for them it's important government support, political sponsorship of developing of outsourcing or the developing of IT. President should be involved. The government should be involved. As the policy, this exists in Uzbekistan. This is important. Another thing is young generation. And if we compare with even the other developing markets, this is even the cheaper with the cost. With the salary, everything is cheaper. And important other thing is they have still available new pool of the talents in Uzbekistan, because you told me you are still continuing investigating. If we will stop to do that, all the investing for the education last 5-6 years, they just come into the market. If we will not find the foreign companies in Uzbekistan, that people should move to another area or move from the country. That's why this is a time to invite. And the government saying that openly, we do everything. If you are the foreign company, would like to come to Uzbekistan and start operation in the region, I'll tell you, no capex cost.
No, zero.
Yes, why I'm saying that, office will be provided, rent for free, 1 year, for free. Any spaces if they request it. They should also invest for the furniture, equipments, computers, and
Correct.
so on. That will be by IT Park, by us, 100%. Only if, after the year passed, they said that, I'm not satisfied with Uzbekistan. You saying this, but finally I get not that kind of qualified employees and so on. This company can move from Uzbekistan without paying anything. But if he say that this is true, everything is very cool here, only then they just compensate the cost of the computers and the furniture. We are taking the risk. We call it zero risk. So, but the message is, Uzbekistan now becoming worldwide service providing country. This is not only IT. We equalize the IT with all possible services. Could it be consulting services, any insurance, medical billing? A lot of services which we could provide it by internet or the phone, it is now going to Uzbekistan. So,
we're here in Tbilisi, sitting in a beautiful office of TBC, and Giorgi is gladly welcoming you as a representative of one of the most successful countries within our region. tell me, you mentioned, and we all together met with Nika Kurdiani and Oliver Hughes here. Nika has mentioned in his last interview with us about importance of the Uzbekistan market, and Georgia is one of the investors in Uzbekistan as well in regards of TBC, which is growing, and Nika has mentioned that it was just 32 million when TBC began just 4 years ago, and how Uzbekistan is tremendously growing. What's going to be your message here, Mr. Farkhod, for TBC conference, IT conference, held just in few hours?
The messages, Georgia is closer to Europe. It's closer, this is important. And there are many companies from the western side, they have their branches here in Georgia. But even if the Georgian companies, I'm mostly concentrating for the Georgian companies, they are still serving their clients in the CIS market or the other markets. If they want to expand their business, they could come to Uzbekistan, and through Uzbekistan, they can provide the services for the another new clients. And CIS market, it is quite big, and we have very good relationship with the MENA market as well. Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Qatar, we have very good connections. And many of companies from the United States, they are providing the services for the MENA through Uzbekistan. And we are between the East and West, and as the Georgia as well. But by the capacity, that could be possible and cheaper through Uzbekistan. So welcome all the Georgian companies, welcome as the market to Uzbekistan to provide their service in Uzbekistan and through Uzbekistan to their clients.
Mr. Farkhod Ibragimov, thanks so much for this opportunity, and good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
The Checkpoints is presented by pharmaceutical company GM Pharma.